what was interesting about Johnny Copeland was he was a very down-to-earth guy. He came up to me and just said, I just love what you do. And I mean, he just said, just keep true to yourself. You're going to get he said, you're going to get so much criticism in your life because you're intense at what you do, and people are going to criticise you, they're going to try and change you, they're going to try and force you to, you know, whatever, you know. He just said, stay true to your path, you know, just stay on that, you know, stay true to yourself. That's all he said to me, really. And then he just said, dig meat, you know, love the music, you know, and keep in touch. And I did keep in touch, and then he died, which was really sad, you know. It was very sad when he died, because he was a really nice guy.
So this was in New York?
No,
were you gigging in New York?
Yeah, I was gigging 6 nights a week in New York.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Just bars, clubs.
Yeah? What were you doing blues?
Yeah, I was just doing what I always do.
Yeah?
My music plus some blues, gospel. It was easy to get work there.
Yeah.
I did about 200 auditions or whatever, and I just got work straight away. So.
Fantastic.
Oh no, it's great. I could go back. I go back there every few years, but I love New York. It's a fantastic city, you know. But you know, I think people have a different perspective of it, you know, of music in general, you know. I mean, it's, you know, they can sense whether you know what you're doing. I mean, I get asked to do auditions in Perth, and I just laugh. I mean, I just think, I don't do auditions in Perth, you know. You know, look at the website. If you don't think I can play, forget it, you know.
Fantastic.
I don't do auditions in Perth. You know?
Fantastic.
And I don't have to do auditions in Europe. So, and now I don't have to do auditions in New York. You know what I mean? But I just, at that time, I just thought, well, you know, we've been living in Europe for 3 or 4 years. We went to New York to see a friend, Al Cash. Oh, Van Morrison. Well, you know, that tour was funny too, because, you know, I got offered that tour straight away. They rang me up. It was after the Dylan tour, same promoter.
Who's the promoter?
Maybe it wasn't the same promoter actually, but anyway, I got offered the Van Morrison thing straight away. The only stipulation was, because that was another reason why promoters liked working with me.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they knew that I was really professional. They knew I was always put in a good performance. They knew that I understood what I was supposed to do. You know, warm it up, like get it happening, right? But they also knew that I could put any line up together. And like the promoter for Van Morrison said, Steve, it's cool, we want you to do the show, it's perfect, you know, but we want you to put together a 10-piece band, because at that time it was 1-for-1 musicians, you know, the union had some sort of influence then. And they said, look, the only thing is, it's 10-piece band, including you, and the only other condition is that you have to join Actors Equity, because Van Morrison is a member of Actors Equity, not the Musicians Union. And
Oh,
I said,
okay.
yeah, I couldn't care less, you know. I said, yeah, great. So I put together a very interesting lineup, because I had backing singers and Bob. No, Bob DePatient didn't do that one with me, but you know, I had a Hammond organ player, had a double bass player. You know, I had a really different lineup, very different lineup for that show. Horn player and that. So I think that was another thing, because I'm very versatile in that sense, you know. The promoters like the fact that, you know, and they know all they have to do is tell me once is the details. They don't need to contact me to remind me. They know I'll get there early. I know what I'm doing. They know that I'm not demand, I don't know if demand's the word, but I expect
A certain
professional
standard.
attitude from my musicians. I expect them to be there on time. I expect them to work hard. You know, I want them, they'll be paid well, you know, and all that, and that sort of thing. So I think I've got respect in that sense, you know, from people that they know that I'm serious, you know, and they know that I value the performance, you know. They know that when I get up there, I want to put on a good show. I don't go on there with the thing that I'm just the support band. I go on there and play to the absolute what I can do, you know. But I also know that the role is to warm it up, you know, and I know how to do that, you know. A lot of people don't know that, I don't think. Particularly
That
young.
came out with Reg and Ivan, I think. They were I was talking to them about the warming up. So
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand the concept. I think a lot of people go on there and they try and blow off the main act and all that sort of thing, and they overdo, you know, they overdo things. They don't understand you know, you have to play to the absolute capacity of your talent or, you know, your ability. But you're not going to blow off very rarely are you going to, I'm not going to blow Bob Dylan off stage.
No,
It doesn't
no.
matter how good I play, you know, that's just the reality.
That's it, Bob.
You know, you're not going to get up there and support Muddy Waters and blow Muddy Waters off. You know, even David Brewer, you know, and people like that, even though he probably did blow Buddy Guy, you know, I probably thought, Christ, you know, who's this guy, you know? You're not going to blow it off because it's it'd be a very difficult situation, I think, to do. You know, you haven't got all half the crowd's not even in the audience because they're in their bar drinking, you know, they don't care about the support act, which is another thing to me that's a bit strange, I think.
Because you have to be somewhere to support those fantastic...
I think it's sad that people do that, really, because I think a lot of people don't realise that, you know, they should be there, not as some parochial thing to support the local band or anything, but purely from a thing of they might not have never even seen I have people coming up to me and saying they've haven't seen me play for 25 years, and they think that I'm, you know, performing the same material I did 25 years ago, and I just go, well, I don't. I'm a writer. Obviously, I don't do the same music.
Yeah,
you know? I might do the odd thing, but you know, I'm a development thing. But
and what's the like? What do people want to like? Someone views this tape in 50 years' time. What do they want? What should they know about Steve Tallis?
Just, you know, I just made my contribution as a musician and as a human being, really. I mean, I don't think that I'm more important really than any other human being, to be quite honest. I just do what I do, and you know, I think an electrician or a plumber is just as important as me. It's just this happens to be what I do, you know. This happens to be my calling, or whatever you want to, you know. This is it, you know. I don't know. It's my life, and I think that you know, I've retained my integrity and dignity through some very difficult times, and you know, I've really tried to create a unique music. That's my whole thing, is to create something that people can listen to, and you know, they can go, okay, we can hear the influences, we can hear that you dig Dylan, or we can hear that you blah blah blah, but we also can hear that you're trying to create your own, you know, and that's what I'm after. And that's what I've been after really since '74, is that real, even when I was doing...
And what's one thing that you've done that you nailed it, all of that?
Oh no, all my albums, I'm happy with all my albums, you know, even like...
Just anything, even one that would stand out? Special
one
for
song
you?
you mean, or?
Yeah, just one piece of work that for you is... Just like I can never reach perfection.
I don't believe in perfection.
I don't either, but I also.
I think that.
But you also got to have a cut-off point and be happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain songs that I think capture a certain essence of my spirit, and say, for example, "Healing by the First Intention" off my Loco album. I think Cut Your Mouth Out Mama on Zozo, I think really captures something, a certain anger that I was feeling at the time. And
music's very cathartic.
and I could pick out certain tracks off the box set. Misquotes was just, you know, magic song to, you know, with Washboard and that, with Johnny, and that was just, you know, and you know, working with a band I had called the Zombie Party was just, you know, it was such an awesome band live. It was just, powerful band, you know. So there's tracks off that album. I did a track called Scarecrow, which is one of my favourite personal songs, you know. It was about a movie. It just got something, you know, and I still love playing it live, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, the latest album, the gospel album, is there's certain things on there that, you know, because I can listen to my music as someone that just loves music. I can actually forget that I'm the artist.
That's awesome.
You know, without, you know, because I'm my biggest critic.
Oh, every artist is. It's like the artist who's done all my paintings, you know, and he comes in, or he's passed on now, and he said it's like meeting an old friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm my biggest critic, but I'm also able to hear my music in a sense of just a piece of music, you know, because I love music. So, you know, I like to be able to put my music on and meditate, for example, you know, do yoga or meditate or whatever, and just listen to it basically as a piece of music, you know. I mean, I remember someone else that influenced me a lot was Captain Beefheart. When I heard Captain Beefheart in the 1960s, I thought, wow.
Who's that? I've not heard that before.
Captain Beefheart? Well, he had a big influence on me because he was another guy that came through, and his early albums are sort of blues, but they're very bent sort of blues, you know. And then he took his music to some other dimension. He is absolutely unique.
How much do you think alcohol and drugs has had a part of that early psychedelic scene?
Yeah,
you know,
big influence. You know, I mean, I was basically an alcoholic, and I've stopped drinking, and I don't take any drugs and that anymore. I don't need anything anymore, which is really good because I'm very healthy and vegetarian and that, and I don't. It was in a way I wish I hadn't drunk. So, you know what I did, and all. I wish I hadn't wasted so much time and energy because I think
because a lot of our people, and back in the 60s and 70s we could see it happening, but you could never say anything, but then the next generation will be, don't drink that, you'll be an alcoholic, don't take drugs, you'll be a drug addict. Our children need to know now at 16 that even though you have those issues, you can get over them. They're not life-threatening.
I've been very, very honest and upfront with my children. They know exactly what I did. They know exactly what I went through. Now, you know, I think that alcohol is a dangerous drug, personally. The fact that it's legal makes it even more dangerous, you know. I just think that anyone that thinks they play better on stage with alcohol or drugs is living in some dream world, I think. If you need that to play better, then there's something wrong with you. You know, I don't need anything, you know, to play better. I think I've played really well on drugs. So, for example,
what sort of
maybe
drugs?
not alcohol, but drugs. I think I've played.
What sort of drugs?
Well, hash, you know, marijuana, because I think it's a very relaxing thing, and it's LSD. You know, I took a lot of LSD.
But looking back on that, I mean, I know you did. Like Matt Taylor talks freely about it as well, and you talked about it on this. What did LSD do? You know,
actually, I never had a bad trip, so I only gave up because I think the quality of what was being sold and was so poor started to deteriorate, and I felt like I was being strychnine poisoning in my gut. You know, might have had something to do with the alcohol as well, but I only actually stopped because I just couldn't take the stomach cramp. You know, when I've started being affected physically, I never actually had a bad trip. So I had a lot of trips, but And as far as smoking goes, I consider marijuana to be a herb. So the only reason I don't smoke is because my lungs are so stuffed from being a passive smoker and.
In bars, and that's another legacy of the 70s is that having to play as a musician around cigarettes.
Unhealthy.
Yeah.
Without you have any choice. I mean, it's fantastic to play now without smoke.
Yeah.
But that's not in Europe. People smoke.
Do you think it's going to maybe do something? Do you think maybe it will invigorate the scene? Because
in Europe, you mean?
No, here in Australia, because one of the reasons a lot of people stop going out to live bands and to places like clubs and that is because when they come home they smell, and people just don't want to breathe that anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting really because I do a lot of private work. Like I do a lot of parties and stuff from networks and that, and I find more older generation, 50s, I suppose, 50 plus, 40 plus, people will come and, they'll see live music in a lounge room and I'll sell CDs and I'll make good money and whatever. House parties, I've been doing it for about 25 years, so.
Rent parties, like the rent parties.
I love it because it's intimate.